What up? What up? Welcome to the Crown and Stitch podcast. My name is Nick Ingval. I'm with my guys, Dex and Keith, to talk about some fitteds. It's about halfway through the year. Major League Baseball All-Star break going on right now. So we're going to talk about kind of the mid-year review, the mid-year recap. We're going to talk about some of our favorite things of the year, some things that maybe weren't so much favorites. But, you know, before we get into that, it's been a minute since we had the whole crew together. So what's good, fellas? How you guys doing?
Man, glad to be back with the both of you again. It's like we got the three Bramigos back in the building.
I like that, three Bamigos. Yeah, I've been working a whole lot, but I'm glad y'all held it down for a couple episodes while I was out here getting that rent money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to be back.
Good to have you back, man. Good to have you back. Definitely understand that work mode, man. You got to take it when you can, because in this economy, as they say.
I know, but hey, man, in a month or two, this podcast is going to pay for everything, baby. We all going to be living in Hawaii.
Hey,
sponsors,
I'm down.
Where are you at?
I mean, even if it pays for part of our hat, you know, addiction, I'd be good with that. Like it would help out. So
seriously.
So I guess like before we get into the mid-year review, what do you guys got as far as new pickups lately?
Dex, you haven't been here for a minute. Let's see what you got. I'm sure you stockpiled a few things.
I got some things. I'm gonna hit y'all with a random one. I got a basketball themed baseball hat. This is a Milwaukee Brewers, Milwaukee Bucks themed hat right here with the raised Batterman, fire. Just how I like it. Colored squatchy. Ooh. And this is made in China.
Where's that one from?
It's China. Oh, who made it? It's a hat club.
Yeah. Okay.
They didn't send a pin though, but that's fine. You know, I'll be like y'all. You know, I ain't got to rock the pin on every hat. It's all good. That's one. Also, number 2 right here. This thing, City Connect SF Giants hat right here with the bridge. You know,
nice.
Took me a year, but you know, I'm finally there.
Yeah, I gotta grab one.
What about you, Keith?
You know, it's funny too, because like when I first saw the City Connects, I hated them so much. But when I was at the dugout, when I was at the team store with you, and then when I went a couple weeks later, I saw a pair of socks that looked nice, and the hat started growing on me at least like a little bit. You know, the jerseys are still trash can juice, but the hat and the socks they look all right. New pickup. I can't believe I haven't pulled this out yet, but where's it at?
Okay.
Nice.
Needed it. Just the regular.
Take
NBA,
that to the Jordan pool
official.
party.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I had to grab it. It was like literally like 5 minutes after they won the championship. I was, still a little bit of shock, and I'm like, oh, hold on, these might sell out. I need to hop on and grab them before they're all gone. What you got, Nick?
All right. So our good friend Joe sent me this Kings hat.
Oh,
see?
Wow.
A little forest green.
What color is that?
Kind of some
is that like forest green and orange? Yeah.
Yeah, forest green. Got a little bit of like light orange, kind of like a dark, almost like saffron color on there.
Dude, that's sick, dude.
Underbill's kind of that same kind of copperish saffron color. Yeah,
the blocking on the logo is crazy too.
I think
nice.
I forgot. Yeah, the color on the
logo. That's sick.
Like a copper?
Man.
Yeah. So this was the turkey dinner pack, I think, if I remember right. But yeah, man, I'm stoked on this one. I've been looking for old logo Kings hats, and it's hard to come by the good ones. Like I don't know. The Kings just seem to be the kind of stepchild of the NBA when it comes to like
redhead
merch and product stuff, right?
Yeah,
especially
right.
fitted. Yeah. But
I got some on the way for you too. So
very
soon, Nick.
I'm looking forward to it. I
was looking for you too, Dex, but they don't really have anything, any good stuff in the 5/8. You got to get closer to the size 8 range before you find the steals.
Yeah, no, Nick stuff be hanging around for a while. I'll be like, I'm like, that hat's still in stock. I click on it and be like, oh, nothing but 8s.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Like sometimes the stuff goes super quick because there's not as many of them, but a lot of times it'll sit around, and then it just means I'm spending more money than I really should.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, when I was at Lids like a couple weeks back, and I sent y'all a pic, and I was like, "Oh man, look at all these hats, right?" And you were like, "What's up with that hat over there?" I was like, and I'm already gone. I was like, "Oh damn, I didn't even notice that little gray Giants hat up there." So I went back like the next day. I was like, "Yo, the only hat they had, size 8." Nick was like, "Nah, man, I spent way too much money. Put that thing back."
I mean, it's interesting because as far as pickups, so there's like two different ways that I mean, this will lead us into the conversation about like what's good and what's bad and things that we like and all that about the year so far. I've really noticed that there's a huge kind of gap between like the in-store experience and the online experience, right? So Lids specifically, every time I go into a Lids store, they seem to have a lot of things that have completely disappeared online. And like that's kind of awesome, right? Like I love that experience. But then I always think like, man, I need to get back to the store to see what's there in case there's stuff that I missed, like that hat that you sent, right? Because we stopped down what are the outlets that are out there in Gilroy, right? And
Yeah.
I went into the Lids store there. It was actually like a really busy day at the outlets. Like normally I try to not go to the outlets on the weekends, right? Because it's like shit just gets too crazy for me. But this particular day, like we stopped by because we were going down towards Monterey, and there was like a group of people working the counter, but it was like 4, 5, 6 people, but they were playing some card game or something. And the guy literally said, "Well, what do we do if I got to ring somebody up?" Because like they were in the middle of the game. And I'm looking around and like, there's actually 2 or 3 hats that I could have picked up, but it was just like a weird, like, okay, I'm not trying to mess with their game. I don't need to spend the money right now anyway. Maybe I'll come back by on the way home. I didn't end up stopping back by on the way home, but that makes me want to go check out the stores locally here in Sacramento. Or, I mean, there's so many around the Bay, right? That like you pop in and there's stuff there where you're like, wait a second, is this what I think it is? And so I guess like to start off, what do you guys think about the difference, like the online experience and the in-store experience, and like good, bad, and like how do you think it should be done? Like should all the stock end up online, or should there be stuff left in the stores for people to find when they're hunting?
It's funny because I was just thinking about that before the podcast too. And like one of the things I'm really jealous of from people that are on the East Coast, like, New York has so many storefront hat stores. There's Exclusive, Sports World. My Fitted is over there in that area, but it's like they have the opportunity to get stuff online, or they also do like lineups and stuff like that. Just kind of like a sneakers release. If there's something hype that's dropping, you could literally go there in the morning, wait for them to open and walk in and get it. So I feel like over there, you kind of get the best of both worlds. Whereas over here, at least in the Bay Area, it's kind of like Lids or nothing over here, and to your point, Nick, I see stuff sitting that's been out for a long time. Like I still see those Lids Crown Royal hats sitting places, and it's like, you can't find those online anymore. I mean, it might not be every team that you want, but I feel like we don't get the full in-store experience over here unless you do only want to go to Lids. I've yet to find really, I mean, there's a couple hat club locations and stuff like that, but overall, like out here, I feel like we kind of, if it's not Lids, it's online or nothing for us. So I kind of wish there was like a little bit more balance between the two. I wish we had a couple more storefronts out here where, you can go and at least check out what they have and see what's there, what's coming in, to where if I miss a drop online or strike out, that, at that point I'm resorting to eBay or Grailed or, one of those other resale sites and having to pay above retail to get a hat that I want. And, I don't have the opportunity to walk in, see it, be at the store, or even just interact with the other people in the stores. You know what I mean? I kind of enjoy that experience too, going and chopping it up about hats, So I just kind of wish we had a little bit more balance between the two out here.
Are there Hat Club stores still in the Bay?
There's one at Great Mall in Milpitas.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only one I know about.
That's it.
There used to be one out in Concord or something like that, and they closed down. Antioch, Concord.
It went from 3 to 1 within like a year.
Yeah.
Sun Valley and Ceremony both closed.
Oh, there's one Ceremony too? Or
It used to be, yeah.
Oh,
and that was before the pandemic even, right? Like,
yeah.
They just kind of pulled back in the retail. I mean, it's tough, man. Retail is so tough. What do you think, Dexter?
Keith said something at the last point about like how you can go in there and talk to somebody about hats. I've never had that experience, like how you go to a shoe store and it's almost like almost everybody in the shoe store is really super knowledgeable about what's dropping, what's coming out. Like if you just walk in there casually, like, oh, well, like they got all the inside game for you. I never had that scenario when it comes to hats. It just seems like they're just kind of in there just selling hats a little bit. So that's just my personal thing. But I think that I like the exclusivity of like there should be certain things you can get online, certain things you can get in store. And, it's dope to, as you said, like you can go to a store and be like, damn, like that hat's been sold out online forever, but boom, you go inside the store. Like I haven't been to the Hat Club the Hat Club at Milpitas ever. Never been there. But I always hear like, oh yeah, they still got that hat drop. Like they still got that in stores. Like, damn, like, should I take that trek all the way down to the Great Mall? Like, see what they got. But I don't know. I mean, it's so convenient to just look at your phone and click a few buttons and boom, it's on the way. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I still want, the in-store stuff. Like it sucks when, all you can do is shop online when, we're OG. We're used to everything having to wake up, go down to the mall, camp out, get in line for whatever you wanted. Video game, shoe,
everything.
whatever it was, and now everything is online. Like even Black Friday, you like, oh man, finish your turkey dinner. Like if you going down to get that TV, you got to get in line at Best Buy. Those days are gone. Like the Black Friday starts on Monday now.
Yeah, it's literally like shop for 2 weeks. Just keep spending money. That's all we got to do.
Yeah,
I'll kind of start this off by saying like one of the questions that I had to ask you guys is like, what's something that is surprising to you about hats this year? And to me, the fact that some of these, like, I would say like really buzzworthy hats still sit online or still sit in stores, but then you look on eBay for it or any of the other resale platforms and it's like, people are trying to double retail on the prices. So it's kind of actually really like a good surprising that you can still kind of find some of that stuff because that's completely missing from the sneaker game. I mean, there's some of that coming back because they're starting to, fill the stores more and, just produce more shoes and that kind of thing. And the brands have realized, hey, like we got to make sure that the people that come into the stores now that we're past the pandemic or at least, in theory, people think we're past the pandemic and, they're just out and about, like there's got to be something for them to do. But it's really interesting. I don't know. Like, I think it's probably like the thing that I'm enjoying the most is kind of just like popping in someplace, especially because in Sacramento, we've got like smaller, spots like Sports Fever at Arden Mall, where it's like a kind of old school jersey focus, but like always had some decent selection when it comes to fitteds. Don't really play the like drop game the same way that the online, presence that the stores with the online presence do, but definitely one of my favorite things about the way things are right now. How about you guys? Anything surprising this year so far that you're like taking a second thought about?
One of the things that I've kind of noticed is maybe not every company, but I've seen certain companies re-release hype hats, stuff that sells out quick, resell is like triple the price, whatever, that they're redropping some of this stuff. I know Toppers is really good about that. Like if you miss out on something and they see that there's a high demand for it, they'll re-release the same thing, 3, 4, 5 times. So I've also heard about Hat Club, maybe starting to do that is keep some of these like really popular collections, like in their regular stock. It hasn't happened yet, but I've heard that there was rumors about that as, like, what was one, like the green eggs and ham that dropped recently? Like I've heard that they're kind of like talking about just keeping that type of stuff in stock more often. Maybe, I don't know if it's like a permanent thing where you can always get stuff like that, but just to kind of hear the rumblings about that, that's kind of surprising to me because, it's like sneakers too. It's like one of those things you kind of have to create the hype to demand or to drive the demand. It's like if you don't have people wanting to search for this stuff and, be up on every release to get some of this stuff that's more coveted, you can lose out on some of the customers that are kind of like, I don't want to buy that. I can get that anytime, anywhere, so just to kind of hear at least some companies go about it that direction of just keeping more stuff in stock that they know that people want. That's kind of surprising to me that they're not, completely playing the limited hype game all the time.
Yeah, that's a good call.
So to pull the curtain back a little bit for the people, we had a little text thread going on. We were discussing stuff we wanted to talk about today. So we had a list of some things that we were going to jot down. And so this was third amongst the questions. So I said the most unexpected or surprising thing of the year was that we're doing this podcast. Like, we talked about it and I was like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. I didn't know how long we'd do it. I didn't know if we'd really get it jumping, but like, this is, becoming a real thing right here. Like, this was something, up until like a couple weeks ago, like this was our Tuesday night activity that we do. Obviously you guys catch this Wednesday morning, but we don't magically, wake up at 7 a.m. and do it live for you, you know what I'm saying? So that was surprise. Like, as much as I love hats and I've been collecting hats, like I never thought until we popped about it. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, we could do that. I had never thought about it until we talked about it, and here we are.
Yeah, man. That's super. It's been super dope. I mean, I love talking to you guys about this stuff. It's like, it gives me even more excuse to be paying attention to it. And just like, I get excited about it. I look forward to like chopping it up with you guys. And I think too, to your point, like, I think, just natural when you start to do something and you start talking about it, it's like, all right, that might happen. But, we're what, like 10, 11, 12 episodes deep now, and we've only missed, I think, maybe one or 13. Two in that time. So, and it's only a matter of time before like this is a much bigger thing. So I second that as one of my favorite things of Fitteds right now, but also one of the surprising things and unexpected things is that, hey, it's going good, man. It's going good.
It is.
So let's back up a little bit because I realized that, we did jump ahead in the questions. So let's talk about like 2 or 3. You could go a little higher, a little lower if you want. Favorite releases of the year so far.
Dexter, why don't you start this one?
Oh, I got it, baby. Oh yeah. So my number one, this hat I did not get. I tried. Keith tried for me. He was even trying to see resale. I was willing to drop a night's tips on this damn thing. But it was the Sports World Fernet Branca inspired collection. That hat was like, oh my God, because people who do know me, like my beverage of choice outside of Crystal Geyser, which is the only water I drink, is Fernet Branca. So that hat with the San Francisco Giants, I was like, yo, I have to have this. I still like, man, somebody could really hit me hard if they got a 7 5/8, 7 1/2, 7 3/4. They could beat my pockets up. I want that hat so bad. That was like my number one. So yeah, if you're listening to this and you got one, just go ahead. You can just pimp me out. Number 2, also another Sports World hat, was the Thirsty Thursday collection, which I have somewhere over here. The Giants Sierra Nevada hat, white guts with the bright underbrim. Now, I don't know what is about this hat. This is made in China. It's 100% polyester, but this hat just feels like, you ever get that hat and you're like, dude, like what did they put like pixie dust on this? Like this thing it fits perfect. it feels different than all the other ones. It's just like they broke the mold with this hat. Like something is like completely different with this. Like I've had a bad sports world hat, but this is like one of my top 5 feeling hats. Like how it fits on my head, the quality. Hat is on fire. I'm gonna go third. This is the Hat Club Horror Pack, Cleveland Indians, Nightmare on Elm Street. This one right here, because I love that movie. Like the hat is just like super unique. And I was looking it up because I couldn't remember it was called Horror Pack. This thing is going for $350 resale right now.
Damn.
I was like,
that's crazy.
I got this as an invoice from Benjamin from Hat Club. Like it's going for $350. I'm like, man, maybe I should test the waters. You know what I'm saying? Drop a couple feelers out there. But what you got, Keith?
These first two, I'm kind of gonna combine them into an honorable mention because these are packs that dropped before. They were both from Hat Club. It was the Ox Pack, the 2.0, 3.0, whatever volume of the Ox Pack they're on. Specifically the Larry June one. I know I've showed that off in an episode before. And also that Kanye graduation hat. It was like that fuchsia color or whatever. It just like the hook to the album cover is just like, it's so spot on and perfect to me. Also from Hat Club, the beer pack. Specifically, I know Dexter, I've heard you talk about this at the Colt 45 and also the Bush beer, the Cardinals one where it's like a navy and icy underbrim. And then it says Cardinals across the front with the 2 little lovebirds on it and like a really vibrant gold. Like they use that metallic stitching and it's absolutely gorgeous. So those, I guess those are honorable mentions since they didn't really technically originally come out this year. The laser pack from My Fit is that Bison's hat that I got. That's one of my favorites. They also had an Orioles one with a little like tracer cartoon Orioles face. Amazing hats. Another one that I don't think I've seen a lot of people wear or that a lot of people know of is from Crown Minded. They came out with the California Love Pack. This was actually the second installment, 2.0, but basically it looked like the California SB Dunks, but without the brown. It's like a cream crown with the green and the red brim. And it's just like, there's a stomper one. And I'm still kind of on the lookout for that. I kind of don't want to get, my pockets pimped out like Dexter, but I would pay a little over retail for that. It's a good one, but that whole pack is good.
Take my
last
money
one
right now.
I mean, if I had some more money, they could take mine too, but they wouldn't be getting a lot. I'm gonna throw one more in there. It was the Capsule, the Nitro pack, the 2.0. They're actually dropping another one, the same color, this Thursday. So a day after this comes out, they're coming out with a wild ass Phillies one. It's brown crown with the blue and the red. I've showed off one of those before on here, but it's just colors that I didn't think would go together well, but it turns out to be like an absolutely gorgeous hat. So, Nick, what you got?
It's kind of funny. You guys both mentioned the beer packs that have gone around. And the first one that came to mind when I was thinking about that question is actually the Anchor Steam. I think it was Hat Club beer pack, Anchor Steam Giants hat, right? I mean, I'm not a big beer drinker at this point in my life, but like by far, I mean, I've got Anchor Steam in the house. Like that's like the default for me. It's always has been. And to be able to like have that connection, I think was super dope, right? The Sierra Nevada one is dope too, because like another local beer, right? For us, I mean, both these beers are massively mainstream now, but both of them started out as like, hey, this is kind of our thing in the city or our thing in Tahoe,
Yeah.
knowing that they're right up the road from us in Sacramento. Like that's always super dope to me. But to tie that into like the Giants and stuff, I mean, it's just like a no brainer. The other one that I really, really, really liked was the, there's a lot of good themes out there, but I was trying to think of like different types of hats, right? Like when I say themes, right? Like a beer pack being like, we're going to take a beer from a particular region, tie it to a team that's close to that region, and each one will look completely different. And then there's like the color themes that are like, we're just going to take this color, throw it across all the hats that we can get under this color. And I think another Hat Club one for me, the Orange Crush Pack, was super dope. Like just like a great colorway. For me personally, like those are two of my favorite colors. I don't usually wear them together, but when I saw them, it was like, oh damn, that's nice. I need that. And then the third one is kind of an oddball for me. Like I don't think it was a part of a themed pack or a particular color set, but it was just a few weeks back, I think, and I just regret not grabbing it. They released another Hat Club. I didn't intend for all of them to be Hat Clubs, but Hat Club did like a gray under brim, orange Giants hat, black logos, black side patch. I can't remember what side patch is on it, but black bill. And like I have orange and black Giants hats, but when I saw it with the gray under, man, it was like, it felt classic to me. And that was something that I thought was, up there. It's something I'll keep an eye out for, when I'm searching eBay and other places, and who knows, maybe in store type stuff. But I'd say one honorable mention, and I believe this was Topper's store. You guys know I don't really wear a lot of other teams, but obviously A's is a close to home kind of team. And my girlfriend and the time that I spent in Detroit, like I definitely have some Tiger stuff from when I was out there. But one of the fitteds that like really caught my eye probably like a month or two ago was the coked out Tiger white with navy pinstripes that Topper's store dropped. I don't know what collection it was from, but it was one of those hats where I was like, damn, reminds me of like some like Field of Dreams type of shit, right? With a little sprinkle of angel dust on top,
Hey, before we move on real quick, you mentioned having like the theme where they're all the same color across, like, or you have like the Hat Club where they did like, oh, we're going to do the specific beer colorway for their local team, right? So Sports World, right? They're in New York, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, they're in Queens.
So I just peeped that both of my top two releases of the year have been Bay Area almost themed hats that you wouldn't think a New Yorker would know about. Like the Thirsty Thursday Sierra Nevada, they did all local teams, even minor league. They did the Modesto A's with the weird elephant thing, right? And they did nothing but local. I just peeped that. And then the Fernet one, like nobody drinks Fernet outside of the Bay Area. Like, shout out to Sports World. I just want to say that, man. Yeah, they I rock with Sports World.
I think it's dope.
If only they had more in stock.
I think that's
you might
like
be the only
a combination of like, last question before we get out of here, since we're hitting up on time. I'm going to put it in two ways. Like, what's something that you really love about what's going on right now, and what's something that you'd like to see in the future? And for me, that answer is actually more of that. I think it's so dope that we have these kind of small brands really opening up their customers and local people to the stories that like are important to other places, right? Keith mentioned the Larry June colorway of that Giants hat, right? If you're around here, you know that for sure. If you're into hip hop, you know him. But like something like that story on the Ox Pack can help people just understand things in a completely different perspective. And that in itself to me is inspiring. And I think that's my favorite thing. And also the thing that I want to see more of in the fitted game, because there's just so much opportunity to do that. Support your local by doing something bigger and putting it out there for the whole world to see. Like, that's the way I see all this stuff happening.
Yeah. Like I didn't really notice until Dexter said it, but like the amount of research that has to go into stuff like that is like, it's crazy to think that they're, like Hat Club is what, in Arizona, so they're close to the West Coast. I know that, but like you said, on the East Coast, a store that's in New York or something like that, like how would they know about that type of stuff? So it's showing that the amount of like research and care that goes into all these drops that they're doing. It's higher than I would assume it would be. You know, it's kind of easily to throw some cool colors on a Giants hat and call it a day, you know, but for them to actually like dig into the roots of that area and be able to produce stuff like that, it's pretty impressive. And, you know, something I hope to see in the future is kind of what I touched on earlier. Just, you know, give us some more storefronts out here. You know, it would be nice to have like a store like Exclusive or Sports World or any of those storefronts that they have on the East Coast. If we had just a few of those on the West Coast, you know, I feel like that would make for an overall better experience than, you know, only being able to go the online route as far as when you want to buy something.
Yeah, it's a good call.
For sure. Something I want to see in the future. So Hat Heaven, I give a lot of my attention to. They send me texts every time they drop something. So it's real easy to spend my money. They're not saying like Hat Club does too, but like I spend my money with other places and they don't immediately like, okay, let's lock you in and let's send you a text message 2 minutes before it drops, you know? So that's one thing. You know, obviously that helps them to sell things, but I like their drops. Like they're not coming out with collections. Like they might come out with 40 hats at once and they're not all side patches. Like I have a Detroit Tigers hat that just is a D, right? That I don't know when that hat originated, probably in the 1914 or something, right? But they come out with like, they're trying to go under the radar with just, you know, just nice hats. They're not going crazy with the colors. Not saying that you can't do that, but just me personally, I just like how they're coming out. Like I got that Kansas City Royals hat where it's just the Royals like patch on the arm logo, 85, just like real, just nice, low key, but still like fly hat. Like my Kansas City A's hat, it's just like maroon with the yellow. Like the colors aren't stupid crazy. Like they're just like, I just feel like it's just nice, just smooth. Like I want more of that. And I want less of the copycatting. Like I don't know how many PB&J collections I've seen from God knows how many stores. It's like, come on, man. Like this has been done years ago by Hat Club. That's fine. Like just come up with something else. There's a different sandwiches. How about you do a Reuben collection?
There you go.
Do a Cuban sandwich collection. Like do a hot dog and mustard collection. Like this, you could do something else. Like everybody is just so much oversaturation of the copycatting that, you know, I think, you know, it's blowing up. Obviously it's not blowing up here as much because, you know, it's expensive to operate out here. But yeah, it's just a oversaturation and copycatting. I feel like it needs to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, man. Totally agree. All right, so we didn't talk about it, but let's wrap. I guess Dexter, you kind of talked about it, but let's wrap by talking about what we're wearing before we get out of here.
Oh well, yeah, I got SF Giant City Collection, bright orange bridge on here. I don't know if I guess that's the Golden Gate. Yep, simple.
Like that. This is the Seattle Mariners purple with like a infrared underbrim. This is the 30th anniversary patch, I think, with the Space Needle on it. Don't remember exactly where this is from, but I think this was like a Grail pickup or something like that. I think this was a resale or a gift.
Nice. I'm wearing another Hat Club. This is not a sponsored Hat Club thing, but Hat Club, if you want to sponsor us, let us know. 60th anniversary. This was the crossover Giants hat with the Warrior crossover pack Warriors. Yeah, just a classic twist on sports teams, right? Throw the neighboring teams on there. You're good to go. But hey, half year in, and we're just getting started with the podcast. I'm excited about the future of fitted hats, and I mean, I got some snapback stuff coming to talk about soon too. So I'm ready. But before we hang it up, let's let everybody know how they can find you guys outside of the show.
First of all, Hat Club, no free shout outs. Throw us the bag. You can find me at Keep the Sneak with 2 Ks on the end. IG, Twitter. More importantly, follow at Crown and Stitch on all the platforms.
Hat Club that has given me enough discounted invoices throughout the day that they can get 17 shots out today. That's fine. Next episode, when I start charging all, I'm about to send y'all an invoice, okay? But smooth as eggs on everything. Also, industry special. I work a lot of jobs right now, so I'm not putting out too many of those, but come check me out. Patreon.com if you want to help me out. Right about now, I'm getting about a hat a month worth of Patreon support, so slide through. Got something coming soon. Crown and Stitch on everything. And also Sneaker History. Tell them about it, Nick Ingval.
Man, at Nick Ingval on all the platforms, at Sneaker History on all the platforms, at Crown and Stitch on all the platforms. You can join the Discord in the link below. There's a good group in there talking about fitteds all throughout the week. It's been popping pretty nicely lately, and I'm just excited for it to keep growing, for us to keep connecting and making this world a better place through sharing these passions that we have. So thank you all for rocking with us. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.